What's up, everyone? I'm just making a short video for Pat. She was asking me how to get it, or how I get cheap tickets, or how do I go about looking for cheap tickets. First off, I usually go to kayak.com. Then I'm on the flights page right now. You can set up hotels and rental cars and packages and cruises and everything like that. So in fact, if you want to like get your say your round trip ticket to say the Philippines and 1 or 2 nights in hotel, you can book it up all in advance. But by no means is Kayak the only one. But here's what I do. I like to use Kayak. So what I do is I presume you're interested in Minneapolis, St. Paul, so I'll just put that in as my starting place. Have Lima because I'm going to Lima, so I'll have to change that. Put in the Philippines. Probably should put in Manila. I forget what airport that is. Yes, Ninoy Aquino. So you put in Ninoy Aquino. Then the dates. I usually put in 6 weeks out if you can. If you can plan your trip 6 weeks out, you'll get cheaper tickets. So let's go for June. June is usually really cheap. May to June is really cheap to fly to the Philippines. I think that's the off season, but I might be wrong. Anyways, before I do that, I need to check something. Oh yeah, when you put in your dates, you don't have to put in exact dates. So what I do is I usually put in, like in this example, put in the 1st of May. You see it says the exact date. You can look by exact date or plus or minus 3 days. If you want to look for the cheaper tickets, then put in plus or minus, and then on your return, you want to put in plus or minus 3 days. Let's put the return, I don't know, June 19th. Let's pick a Wednesday. Oops. Yeah. So yes, plus or minus. So you got the plus or minus up there. And then you got your Wednesday date. That's just, plus or minus. Now we're down here. You'll see Kayak will compare it to Cheapo Air, Orbitz, Expedia, Priceline, and JustFly. Then you just click OK. Go ahead. We'll see what comes up. I'm guessing from Minneapolis probably 1,000, maybe 800 or 900, because you can fly from Los Angeles to Manila for like 500 or 600, and same for Thailand, as a matter of fact. Oil prices have recently come down quite a bit. They're in the 50s, $52 a barrel now, but they're coming down from 60, 70, $80 barrel range. So they've come down so much now that flights are going to be a lot cheaper now. So far, we're not getting anything, but as you can see here in the grid, the cheapest price so far is 1,049, which is Korean Air. Doesn't surprise me. Usually the Chinese airlines come up cheaper. But let's go down here. We have Korean Air for 1,049. Oops. Now we have it at $800, 749, and these prices usually include tax. But here's the thing: you're gonna have to add in. Sometimes they charge you money for extra bags, or they only give you one bag for free, and if you want to take two, you got to pay for the second bag. So that's going to cost you a little extra. Anyways, let's view the deal, see what it is. Let's see. Oh, Minneapolis, St. Paul to Ord, which would be that's Sun. That Ord is Chicago, I think. And then back, that's $100, and then it's. Oh, this is strange. I don't quite understand this flight. Let me just X this off. Let's go down here for 844. I want to see what this one is. Okay, it looks like usually it's a little. I usually look these things up on my phone, so it looks a little different. But looks like you're flying from the cities to Chicago for 147, and then from Chicago to Manila, excuse me, for 697, which I presume comes out to the $800. Anyways, they have a little thing here for what's a hacker fare. Another thing you can do is, let's just go back. Let's let's punch in Chicago, or we can include nearby airports. But let's just punch in Chicago. I'll put in the same dates, see what happens. Sometimes if you go to a different city, you can get it for quite a bit cheaper, but then you have to find a ticket to the city you want to go to. So it usually just works out to go to the nearest big city you're at. But sometimes if someone can drive you to like Chicago or wherever you're going, like in Iowa, someone will usually drive you up to the city, so they'll drive you excuse me, they'll drive you to Minneapolis, St. Paul, which a lot of times is about the same. So sometimes it's cheaper to fly to the cities, or sometimes it's just as cheap to fly to like the capital in Iowa. So far from Chicago, it looks like the cheapest fare is about $640, which is Ava. Ava is an excellent airline to fly on. Usually the cheaper tickets are going to be China Air or the Chinese companies. This one's 625. This one's 640. I think that's Ava. This is Korea. Yeah, that's Ava. Excuse me. Looks like Korea, the Korean Air is giving you a lot of good deals right now. Anyways, if you can fly to Chicago, it'll be about 650. And then you can try going out 6 months, but usually if you just go out from if you plan to buy your ticket 6 weeks before you plan to leave, 6 weeks is about the best. 2 or 3 weeks, it just depends. Just depends. But if you have time, try to get 6 weeks out. Anyways, here's this grid. If you're on a laptop, it'll show you the cheaper flights. It shows you the days up here, and then different prices down here for leaving and coming back on different days. That's why I like Kayak Air, because you can do the plus or minus 3 days to get to see what the lower fare is. Now, if we go over to excuse me, Viama is another airline or another place I like to check. As you can see, I'm in Guatemala. I was looking for tickets for Guatemala to Peru. Let's just punch in Minneapolis. There we go. Let's punch in Manila. And then let's start like, let's just try May again, but we'll take May 8th. And then the return will be, I'm just going to pick something at random, June 5th. One adult. Yeah, I'll just choose the flights. Viama is good. Viama and Kayak are usually the ones I use the most. As you can see, you can put in a car or a hotel and get all of it at once, put it on your credit card or whatever. You can even use PayPal to pay for your tickets nowadays. All right, on Viama, for a little bit different dates, we're getting about $1,009, $1,000, $1,800. We'll just scroll down and see, who is this with? Japan Airlines is one of the best airlines to fly on. Like I said before, a lot of the cheaper ones are going to be China Eastern, but I would go on either Korean or Japan if you can, even if you have to pay a little extra, or Ava, because the flight's just way better. You get more free stuff, at least in my experience you do. Looks like there's 2 stops. This is what sucks about getting the cheaper tickets. You have 2 stops, and it's like 26 hours. The lowest you're going to get that is maybe 18 or 19 hours. But if you're coming from the Midwest, you're going to have more stops. There's no real way around that, as far as I can figure it. I've been looking for cheap tickets from Minneapolis, St. Paul for a long time, so it's about the cheapest you're going to. I mean, 2 stops. If you can get one way, it's going to cost you a lot more. But again, what sucks about this fare, it takes you 26 hours to get there, but then, oh, it's 26 hours to come back. Check out this one. It's 32 hours to get there and 26 to get back. So you got to check that, make sure you don't get stuck too long at an airport, unless that's what you want. Excuse me. Again, I prefer Japanese Airlines. When I fly them, they usually give you unlimited amount of booze, which may or may not be of interest to some people. But anyways, they give you a lot of, junk food too. They're pretty generous when it comes to that sort of thing. Anyways, this is all I have for you, Pat. Vayama.com and Kayak. Oh yeah, on the Kayak they usually bring up 3 windows. There's Orbitz, Expedia, and there's the flight amounts where they're comparing it. We'll just come back here. Looks like flying out of Chicago, it's the cheapest, but flying out of the cities is about the same. Compared to Vayama when we had that up there. But anyway, just go out to Vayama.com, or go to Kayak. Well, here we go, Kayak.com. And if you want, you can punch in hotels too to see what a nice hotel. If you can get a kind of a nice hotel for your first or second day there. I presume your guests or your friends are going to be going to the province, but I don't know that. Anyways, this is just for someone was asking, one of my friends asking how I look for cheap airfares. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you.